On this week's Sports Japan, we feature Kendo. We see how 6 courageous challengers take on a 3-hour test of skill and endurance. And in Sporting Seniors, we meet a 98-year-old who's still bowling strikes.
Hello everybody, welcome to Sports Japan. I'm your host Ayako Kisa. So as always, we've got some great stuff lined up from the world of Japanese sports. Our guest this week is 4th Dan Kendoka and Kendo World Magazine Deputy Editor Michael Prime.
Hello there. Nice to meet you.
Great to have you.
Thank you very much.
You look all ready to give us
I'm ready. All
right, since we have you, today's focus is all about Kendo. So let's start by talking about last year's World Kendo Championships, Michael. So it was held at the Nippon Budokan for the first time in 45 years, is it?
That's right, yes. The first championships in 1970 was held at the Budokan as well. This year, the Budokan welcomed over 600 participants from 56 countries and territories, making it the biggest competition ever. Also, the level of the competition has increased a lot. And compared to the first World Champs, the number of participating countries and territories has multiplied by about 3. So Kendo's spread is getting bigger and bigger.
That's great to hear. So why do you think the quality of Kendo around the world is getting better?
One of the reasons is that there's a lot of Japanese instructors that love Kendo very much, and they travel overseas to teach Kendo in those countries. And of course, the people there are training hard as well.
All right. So in our first report, we're going to check out some of the action from the All Japan Kendo Championships. There was some high drama as members of Japan's World Championship winning team took on each other for the individual title.
64 Kendo masters gathered for the All Japan Kendo Championships at the Nippon Budokan in Tokyo. One man to look out for was Yuya Takenouchi, who was looking to win the tournament for the 2nd year in a row. But he missed out on becoming only the 3rd person ever to achieve the feat after losing to Yosuke Katsumi in the 3rd round, his teammate on the Japan team. With the tournament favorite getting knocked out so early, it was 20-year-old Kakeru Umegatani, the event's youngest participant, who put together an excellent run. Standing just 168 centimeters tall, he excels at leaping in to strike his opponent's mask.
If I attack at the same speed as someone taller, they'll win. Speed is so important for me.
The source of Umegatani's speed is the calf muscle on the left leg that drives him forwards. The difference in strength compared to his right calf is plain to see. Umegatani has been training his left calf muscle since elementary school, using the same exercise of striking while hopping. With this highly polished attack, Umegatani is aiming to become the youngest ever All Japan individual champion.
Once the match starts, your age is irrelevant. I hope to upset the established order.
Umegatani makes the semifinals. He faces Hidehisa Nishimura, a highly skilled swordsman who was 3rd in the individual competition at the World Championships. Nishimura in red continually tries to reduce the distance between himself and Umegatani, preventing Umegatani from using his signature technique of leaping to strike the mask. It's a cagey encounter, and both men receive a warning for lack of aggression. The match goes into extra time. And the deciding moment finally comes.
小手に前に出る西村場外だ場外に出た梅ヶ谷に反則がいってこれが2つ目ということになって西村の勝ち
After committing 2 violations, Umegatani loses by ippon. The crowd show their appreciation for the young swordsman's efforts. The final will be a showdown between Yosuke Katsumi, the man who knocked out the favorite in the 3rd round, and Hidehisa Nishimura. They know each other very well as members on the Japan national team. Nishimura in red is first to go on the attack. He persistently goes for Katsumi's wrist, one of his favorite targets. Katsumi, on the other hand, thrusts for Nishimura's throat. It's an absorbing battle. Four minutes pass. Suddenly, the match comes alive.
面だ西村思い切っていった小手ではなく面でした
Nishimura fools Katsumi into thinking he's going for the wrist, and when Katsumi raises his right arm, he doesn't miss his chance. Nishimura says he knew what Katsumi was going to do.
When we faced each other at the start, I looked at him and thought he's not expecting me to attack the mask.
Nishimura quickly lands another strike.
もう一度面だ決める面2本勝ち西村秀久初優勝
Hidehisa Nishimura uses guile and incredible adaptability to become All Japan Kendo Champion.
Congratulations to Nishimura. So how did you look at his performance?
Oh, he did absolutely great. In the final, as we saw, he took 2 men strikes from his opponent. He hit his opponent's head twice.
Okay.
His special technique, or his preferred technique, is striking his opponent's kote or wrist, which he didn't do this time. So it just shows that he's able to adapt his strategy depending on the situation. So it was a really good final and a really good performance from Nishimura.
And it was really interesting to see how he often ends up in the tsubazeriai position, which is the close quarters battle.
That's right, yes. So if we look here, as he's fighting Umegatani here, he's now about to move into tsubazeriai, which is where the guard of your hilt are together. And he's going from, a lot of the time, from the urakosa position or the reverse position, just like here. And what he's able to do is suppress his opponent's techniques from this position, but also execute his own as he comes out of them. So he knows that Umegatani can attack from a long distance, so that's why he was trying to keep him close.
All right, and now you're going to actually demonstrate that urakosa technique for us, right?
That's right, yes.
So we have Masashi Shishikura, who's going to be your opponent.
That's
Thank
right.
you for joining us.
します. So the regular position in which to cross swords is here, omote kosa, with the left side of the shinais touching. In tsubazeriai, as you see with the hand protector of the hilt come together, it's usually this position as well. But Nishimura likes to go from the urakosa position. From here, he can control his opponent's shinai and stop him from attacking, just like this. But also, as he's leaving the tsubazeriai position, he's able to execute his own techniques, such as a strike to the head.
Thank you. So Nishimura really likes this strategy, right?
That's right.
So now let's analyze one example of how he breaks from the urakosa to attack.
So as we can see here, this is in the quarterfinal against Ando. He has his shinai in the urakosa position, and he flicks shinai otoshi, knocks his opponent's shinai out of his hand twice. By doing that twice, that gives him an ippon, so he wins the match this way. Obviously, in kendo, if you drop your sword, it's a really bad thing to do. The sword represents your life, so to drop it, it's quite a bad thing to do.
Okay, so you're actually going to show us this shinai otoshi, right?
That's right, we'll have a go now. Okay, so as usual, we cross swords from the omote position, omote kosa, And in Tsubazeriai we're here, and Nishimura likes to go onto the urakosa, the reverse side. From here, he's able to flick his opponent's shinai out of his hand to do shinai otoshi, such as this. That will give his opponent a half-point violation. If he does it twice, then he wins the match. But also, from the same position, if he doesn't knock the opponent's shinai out of his hand, if he doesn't do shinai otoshi, he can maybe execute another technique like this. Bam!
Thank you. That was so fascinating. It happened in like 1 second.
Oh, it was very, very quick.
It was
yeah,
fast.
You can hardly see it.
So thank you, Masashi, for the performance. Thank you. So Michael, next we want to look at we're going to look at the Tachi-kiri jiai Kendo training.
That's right.
So this isn't like anything else in any other sport, right?
No, I don't think so. It's a very intense and very demanding type of Kendo training and Kendo competition. It involves a trialist who's known as a motodachi, and they will fight again and again, dozens of opponents, one after the other, in a few hours without a break. So Tachi-kiri means to keep standing, and jiai means competition. So essentially it's a competition to keep standing.
Sounds like it's pretty tough.
Very tough.
So just how extreme is the Tachi-kiri jiai? So let's see if several brave challengers managed to make it to the end.
6 men and women nervously enter the arena as they get ready for the Tachi-kiri jiai. A sash attached to their backs shows their status as motodachi, or trialists. Each one prepares for battle in their own way.
I feel nervous. It's finally going to begin.
I just want to get going.
It's 10:25 a.m. The 4 males start first as they begin their 3-hour-long Tachi-kiri jiai. This year, the event is being held in Yuzawa, Akita Prefecture for the 37th time. Each trialist will face 33 opponents in succession and compete to see how many they can beat. Each bout lasts for 5 minutes. The Tachi-kiri jiai is about developing mental toughness, so there are no violations for rough attacks. Challengers are often sent flying. Kazuhiro Sugai is taking the test for the second time. He says he's delighted to have the opportunity again.
I'm looking forward to what I'm able to see in 3 hours' time. I don't want to lose the battle with myself. I'm honored to be able to take part in the Tachi-kiri jiai.
The Kendoka taking on the challenge are the chosen representatives of various regions. It is an honor to be selected, a sign that you are recognized as a true practitioner. Toru Takaku has the heavy responsibility of representing Yuzawa, the town hosting the event. His wife is there to support him and says the past year has been a tough battle for the whole family.
After work, he practiced kendo, and on his days off, he went running. Everyone in the family tried to encourage him so he could give everything today.
It's an hour after the event began. 2 women join in the fray. They'll each fight 22 opponents over 2 hours. "29-year-old Rika Morimoto is the younger of the 2. She says she wants to experience how her mental state changes over the 2 hours. The other woman, Ikumi Tsugueda, says she's sworn to herself that she won't back down.
During my year of training, I've realized that whenever I back down, I feel like quitting. I'm going to do what I can to keep moving forward without giving up.
As the men enter the second half of their challenge, fatigue starts to show.
Halfway? Only halfway? Okay, let's go.
As the 6 Kendoka continue the grueling task, a group of middle school students call out. They're here to support Mitsuhiro Kono. He's their teacher.
I'm always telling my students that they should set high goals for themselves. That's not an easy thing to do, so I want to set an example.
Kono is driven by his resolve to show his students the conviction needed to overcome difficulties and the importance of fighting until the very end. There's still an hour to go. One of the trialists seems to be struggling. Wataru Washiya has lost some skin from the sole of his foot. He decides to have it treated. It's a long, hard, draining battle, but the real test is yet to come. After their last drink of water, the trialists enter the final half an hour, the toughest period of all. Under the relentless assault, some start to feel faint. It becomes almost impossible to fight back. The desire to keep going is all that keeps them standing. They enter the last 5 minutes. The 6 trialists wring out their final drops of energy. After being pushed beyond their physical and mental limitations, what will these men and women experience once the Tachi-kiri jiai is over? All 6 make it to the end.
Thank you.
The sense of relief and achievement is overwhelming as each of the 6 trialists savor the moment in their own way.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the 3 hours.
Thanks to everyone's support, I made it through the 2 hours.
It was my family that allowed me to train for the past year. And I wanted to get through the 3 hours so I could pay them back. I feel so pleased.
Each of these brave men and women appear to have found their own answer after making it through the Tachi-kiri jiai.
That was so intense. So, Michael, have you ever tried that Tachi-kiri jiai?
No, I haven't. I think if I'm going to attempt to do that, I need to get a lot better and train a lot more. It's a really, really big challenge. Actually, there's a very famous Tachi-kiri jiai that was done by someone called Yamaoka Teshu, who was an important character towards the end of the feudal era in Japan. He did a Tachi-kiri jiai where he fought 1,400 people.
No.
Yeah, he did 12 hours a day, 200 people a day, 7 days in a row. So that was a huge undertaking.
That's unbelievable. So don't the motodachi trialists like pass out at the end, or like they give up or anything like that?
Well, the motodachi usually say that the hardest part, it comes around the middle. Maybe they're kind of thinking, well, I've still got halfway to go. But actually, some of them do say that during the last 30 minutes, where you'd expect them to be tired, they actually, at that point, kind of getting into the zone. Kind of like a runner's high, or explained like mushin or no mind, where they're reacting without thinking. So just like here, we see in the women's competition, Ikumi Tsukueda. In the last 30 minutes, she was fantastic, and I think won all of her matches and scored many ippon. You just see here, she strikes her opponent's kote or wrist and scores a point. Yeah, it's great.
You're right. She doesn't look like she's worn out at the end.
Not at all, no.
So as a kendoka, tell me, why do kendo practitioners actually want to go through such a hard trial?
Well, one famous saying in kendo is hyakuren jitoku. Hyakuren means to practice 100 times, and jitoku means to kind of learn yourself or acquire yourself. So basically it means through repeatedly practicing the same technique again and again and again, you naturally learn it and it will become part of you. So it reminds us to keep training.
All right. I think that sums up the essence of martial arts training perfectly. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Now it's time for Sporting Seniors. This week we meet a 98-year-old 10-pin bowler who's still bowling strikes. So how about in kendo? Anybody in that age that's still doing kendo?
Yeah, there are some that still compete. For example, in the Kyoto tournament in May last year, the oldest competitor was 101 years old. Yeah, it's great. And his younger opponent was 93. So it really shows us that kendo is a lifelong pursuit. Actually, there's another saying similar to hyakuren jitoku that's important in kendo. Keizoku wa chikara nari. So keizoku means to continue or to persevere, and chikara means power. So through continuing, through persevering, you become stronger, you get power, you get strength. So very important in kendo too.
Famous word, I love it.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael, for joining us
You're welcome.
today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everybody, for watching Sports Japan, and we'll see you next time.